Happy Saturday, everyone. Frank Rockhouse Foreign Sports Channel coming at you. The news you just heard: Travis Smith Jr., wide receiver out of Georgia, is a Tennessee Volunteer. This makes Tennessee's third wide receiver commitment of the current recruiting cycle, and it should enable them to move up in the recruiting rankings. Before the commitment, On3 had them at 16th. 24/7 had him at 15th overall. Fell a little bit with some of the re-rankings. I think that's what caused him to drop, because they dropped 3 places on three. But to me, this is a big pickup. Depending on the rank, he's a consensus 4-star in all the publications. There's the On3 ranking. There's the On3 industry ranking. I guess that's kind of like a median, or kind of like your average, of all of them together. But the actual singular On3 ranking has him top 100 in the nation. So what's Tennessee adding here? Depending on, according to 24/7, they've got him 6'3.5", 199. On3 has him 6'3", 200. So let me share the screen. Let's look at some highlights here of Travis Smith Jr. and what he brings to the table. He's a big receiver. His coach that he works out with, let me get back and find that here, and compared him to like a Julio Jones. And it's a pretty good comparison, especially the Julio Jones who played at Alabama, the one who started out, of course, with the Falcons and went from there. Let me find those comments again here. So it said that, here we go. So he, of course, it was former Bulldog Terrence Edwards trains him, and said he's not afraid to compare him to some of the best pass catchers to come out of the Southeast in the past few generations. Says he's big, fast, and powerful like Julio Jones. He's a complete package: height, speed, and tracking ability. And says he was an all-metro pick in 2023. And according to his high school coach, Rico Zachary, he is just starting to reach his potential. That's going into his senior year. He is described as a guy who could be inside. He could be outside. As you'll see in some of the highlights, he can catch it across the middle. He can catch it on the sidelines. And, some of these throws in these highlights, he's really bailing his quarterback out, and says the way that he runs, the way he gets in and out of breaks, he can do a lot of different things at this level. So let me pull up the video I had here just a second ago. There we go. Let me get my screen shared. Almost there. Thanks for bearing with me. Here we go. So we'll take a look at this. Some of the
Injured? You need experience. Call James Scott Farron.
I'm TV's Judge Greg Mathis. And if you think the
There we go. So here's some of the highlights. Now, as you can see on here, catches it down the sidelines. Big play there. There's a few of them that stood out to me. This was a pretty good one. He went up and got this one across the middle. He's a physical guy, as you can see. There's numerous highlights here where he's hard to bring down. And then look at this one here. This is something they talk about with receivers. You saw him out blocking. And that's a big thing with the receivers with Tennessee. And then right here, pretty nice catch up and over the guy. Here, I wouldn't necessarily say he got mossed, but he almost mossed the guy. Here's another one here, just down the sidelines. Heck of a catch right here. Tennessee's adding a stud right here. Beat out Georgia, beat out Alabama. I think, who's other? Auburn that was mentioned. This one was primarily Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama. I don't know what the story is with Georgia, but I know it's, from what Georgia has numerous wide receiver commits. And I know Alabama was in this one as well. But you got to give credit to Kelsey Pope and that staff for closing the deal on this one. When he had his official visit back last month, it really seemed like Tennessee knocked it out of the ballpark on that one. They hit a home run on that visit. He spoke with Austin Price on it, and he just really was glowing and gleaming about the visit. And, another thing could help with these teammates with Juan Gaston, offensive lineman, Tennessee's after. It can't hurt. Let's put it that way. Now, what Tennessee's got some work ahead of them to beat out Georgia, but from what I've read on it, I wouldn't discount Tennessee's chances as well. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video on that one, and we'll go back to the stream. But now with Tennessee here as well, what we've got is I'm looking at their commits, which I had up here a minute ago. So that gives Tennessee their third wide receiver commitment. Now, Ricari, let me pull him back up here. He's just about here. Be here in just a minute. All right, here we go. Tennessee's 2025 commitment. So they've got Radarius Jackson, wide receiver out of Memphis. He's pretty much a consensus 4-star. And then they have Joakim Dotson, Chattanooga, 6'1", 185. And now you add Travis Smith to the equation as well. And then if you look at next season and what they have coming back, look at the current roster. I'm assuming this is up to date based on what I've seen, but they'll lose Dante Thornton. He is a senior. Squirrel White's a junior. Chris Brazel, the transfer from Tulane, is a redshirt sophomore. Braylon Staley, true freshman. Brew McCoy will be he's on his final year right now. Nate Spillman, that's a guy I'm not sure how much he's going to factor in moving forward. Chaz Nimrod, redshirt sophomore. Spillman's redshirt freshman. Caleb Webb, redshirt sophomore. Nathan Leacock, redshirt freshman. He's one as well. I'm kind of starting to question whether he'll be what his long haul is here. It seems like he's been passed up. And then, of course, you have Mike Matthews as well. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if Tennessee, it seems they add a wide receiver pretty much each cycle from the portal. So, if they could get another guy to come in, you've added Brew McCoy, Brazel, Dante Thornton. I know there's been more along the way here since Josh Heupel's taken over. That's the three that come to mind right off the top of my head. I mean, you've seen it over the years. Valish Jones, Javante Payton, different guys that have come into the fold for Tennessee. But I love the size. I love what this guy brings to the table. That's my kind of receivers. They can play physical. They can go up and over you. They can go across the middle. They can do a little bit of everything. This, to me, is a big pickup for Tennessee. And it should be, and I say should, because we know how recruiting is. This should be the start of a string of numerous commits for Tennessee coming up for July. Looking at possible commits moving forward for the Vols. Of course, later on in the month, you got Shady Hayward, safety out of Georgia. Everything I've read is once his last official visit happened, Tennessee was able to swing the momentum back. Christian Gass, another 4-star out of Georgia, linebacker, defensive end, announces on July 20th. Everything I'm seeing now, Tennessee is in good shape to beat Georgia out for him. Juan Gaston is August 2nd. Now, that one will be interesting, of course. From what I'm reading on it, it seems it's down to Tennessee and Georgia. Can Tennessee pull out? I feel it would be a bit of an upset if Tennessee pulled that one off, but can they do it? We'll wait and see. And then, of course, I mentioned a string for July. There's also more, Gaston coming up August 2nd, and then David Sanders comes up August 17th. So that one, from everything I read, is down to Tennessee and Ohio State. It does say Nebraska is a bit of a dark horse, but from everything I've read, Tennessee, Ohio State. And I think both teams apparently feel good about it. Tennessee's mods are pretty consistent, man, that they like where Tennessee's at. So, could something happen with him going to Ohio State? Sure, absolutely it could. But, based on what I'm reading, Tennessee's in pretty good shape on that one. And then a couple more to watch out for that I think it's, from what I'm reading, it's not a matter of if, but when Jaden Perlotti, the linebacker that's committed to Georgia currently, everything I'm reading, they're expecting him to flip to Tennessee. And then defensive back out of Columbia, South Carolina, Onis Konambani, He'll decide between Tennessee, Florida State, North Carolina. Tennessee got the last official visit, and we'll see if they can keep that momentum all the way up to whenever he decides to announce. He's not said anything for sure yet, but great day to be a Vol. Commitment number 17, and hopefully we'll say by the end of August, this thing's over 20 at that point, and then they can kind of ride it out, get some more targets leading up to early signing day, and then you've got portal time as well, as there is there's not that 25 cap anymore. You can sign as many as you need to, but you got to have the scholarships for them as well. But I'm going to wrap up on that one. Big weekend ahead. Monday night I'll be live at 7:30. I'll go 7:30 Monday night. I think once we get into the fall here, and we'll do possibly Sunday and Monday night live shows. But we'll see what the feedback is on that. Major League Baseball draft starts tomorrow. We'll have plenty to talk about on Monday night. I'll record some stuff tomorrow night on the guys who do get drafted. Definitely Christian Moore gets drafted tomorrow night, and I think there will be more depending on, I think it's 2 rounds. It wouldn't surprise me for a couple more to get drafted tomorrow night. But, I would make sure you go back, and if you're a baseball guy, make sure you go back and listen to some of these videos I've made on the draft. I've made a couple of them coming up. Somebody asked me today, why would a 7th or 8th rounder that's a junior not come back? I detail it in the video. Check out the video as I break this stuff down as thorough and as in depth as I can. And we'll do some stuff later about the Vols baseball guys in summer school and not summer school, summer ball. As got to see Ariel Antigua play the other night. Dude's phenomenal. Dude's phenomenal at shortstop. And he's playing in a wood bat league, good competition against the Appy League. I think he's hitting over 300 right now. That's a pretty positive sign. Like I said, defense, there's not a better actual shortstop on that campus, and there's not going to be next year. That bat's going to determine it with him. But I'll talk more about that over the weekend as well. I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday. It's a good night to be a Vol. Frank Rock, House of Orange. If you like the content, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Biggest way to get the channel out is if you like it, share it out. And then, if you have not already, you want to get notifications when I go live or anything, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. And then the last thing, if you want to say thanks for it, down that right corner, there is that option for the super thanks, just like a super chat as well. Hope to see you Monday night, Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel. Go Vols, and I'll see you when I see you.